From a community that's so small, you have all these amazing things and stories and people. And of course, sliced bread.
Sliced bread is a great story, but it was rediscovered about 20 years ago by our editor of our newspaper, the inventor Otto Rohwedder. His story is a great story of perseverance because he had this idea and he spent the early 1900s a great deal of his life raising money, getting a prototype, having a factory. It was all ready to go and it burned to the ground. And about that time, he went to his doctor and he had a respiratory disease, and his doctor said, "You got maybe a year to live. Forget this sliced bread stuff. Go home, get your house ready in order to be prepared to die." Well, he ignored that, fortunately. July 7, 1928, we were the first bakery in the world to offer sliced bread to the public. That, of course, is really important because everybody knows the saying, the greatest thing since sliced bread. They don't say the iPad or internet. They say it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So it really is the standard of all innovation, past, present, and future. And so we're trying to build on that as it relates to entrepreneurship.
Three years ago, we had a lady come into town. She was 106. So she said when she was a little girl, it was a really big deal. The local market got a bread slicing machine. So her mom, dad, her sister, they got dressed up, gloves, hats, everything. They watched it and they were all marveling about it. And she said her dad says, that'll never catch on. But the next year they were buying sliced bread from the bakery. Well, it's really important to preserve history. If you don't preserve history, you're going to repeat it if you don't understand it. History is like an onion. Every level you peel off, there is more to find underneath.
It's just a community that offers so much more than what the population you would often think this size town would have. As you can well see with the play here today, Saturday morning, we started at 7 o'clock this morning and we have over 16 here for only 3 courts, so we've got a full pair of teams waiting to get on and play. Chillicothe is just progressive. I think it stays, even and always looking forward, and we've got such wonderful leadership here. People in the community here are always trying to keep things to going to the next level and not just, you're either growing or you're dying. And so you can't stay where you are, and they're always finding ways to grow.
Our leadership has encouraged people to leave money to the town for special projects. We currently have about 20 foundations. Generally, when we have a project, we can go to these foundations and they'll probably put up 50% of the money. So it really is a can-do attitude.
Murals tell our story, which is very, very important. It draws people from other areas. People love this community and the beauty of it. We used to have a vacancy rate of 24%. It's soon going to be under 2%.
And then double check that the print came out, which it did, and then we're ready to go. So there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes. I have to create the design and then burn the screen, but this is the fun part. We did a good long search, and this building wasn't even really for sale yet. And we made some good phone calls at the right time and managed to find something that has really good bones and really good potential for stripping it down and showing where it came from. People who maybe don't normally shop local have really gone out of their way to shop local in the last 2 years. For the most part, I feel like the biggest question that people ask when they come in here is, what exactly is going on in here? They're kind of amazed and surprised by the fact that the printing of the fabric actually happens here in the studio. It's a local artist and local production that's all happening right here in their small little towns.
Growing up here has been like, it's like a little movie town. It's like everybody knows everybody. It's just kind of like the best thing ever. I wish there were more places for like youth to go. Like leadership kids, we always complain about like, oh, well, we don't want to be here because of this or because of this. And like, she told us like, nothing will ever change here if people don't stay and help change it. That's why it stays like this. Changed my view on it a little bit. Like I think that I would like to come back here.
Living in rural Missouri is not difficult. It's your mindset. The high school classes would have 180 to 210, 220 students in it. Now a big class will be 150, 120. What things are we going to do to try to slow that outward migration and maybe even reverse it and have coming in? We complain about everybody in the community knowing your business, but when you need help, there's nothing better than everybody in the community knowing your business. And then the teamwork that I see in rural areas. We have good friendly competitions, but when it comes down to the end, everybody digs together to make everything rise. Living in rural Missouri can be a great place if you want it to be.